Hey Eurovision fans, KAJ will represent Sweden in Eurovision 2025 with their song Bara Bada Bastu. I'm going to listen back to the live performance, give you my analysis of the song, the artist and the staging, talk about if this could qualify, what it could do in the final, could it even win Eurovision 2025. Grab your towel, let's kiki. Hi, my name is Tom, I'm an Irish Eurovision analyst and you can find all of this stuff on my Eurovision channel. So first of all, let's talk about Melfest this year. You probably already know my opinions about Melfest because I've done so many videos about it, so I'll give you the short version. But interesting to note that the two big favourites this year, Måns and KAJ, ended up in the same semi-final. Now that implies to me that actually the organisers of Melfest were not expecting this to be a big song. You'd think they put the 5 biggest contenders to win, one in each of the semi-finals, and then continue spreading out the songs amongst the 7 finals, almost like a seeding system. So I think that KAJ were in the second tier of seeding system when the producers were planning Melfest this year, and were not expecting this to do so well. And the song just absolutely went viral and got so much momentum. I remember when I did my KAJ live performance video after their semi-final, they had moved up to 5th in the odds from 29th, but they were still so far off Måns at that point. He was way ahead. Also keep in mind that Måns won semi-final number 4, which they were both in, which was a televote only semi-final. So huge comeback story, coming second in their semi-final to Måns, coming back in the final with the jury added, which a lot of people were expecting weren't going to favour them, and managing to win. So this has just absolutely and utterly gained a huge amount of momentum in the Melodifestivalen season, become a huge underdog story, and the big question of will and can they win Melodifestivalen? And the answer was yes, to many people's surprise. So while Måns was talking about a revolution with a pretty standard Melfest song, KAJ were actually doing one, sending a song in Swedish for Sweden for the first time since 1998. Now, a couple of songs won Melodifestivalen in Swedish since 1998, but then they were converted into English to go to Eurovision. So this is the first song for Sweden in Swedish since 1998. We have had another Swedish song in the contest since then from, guess who? Yes, Finland in 2012. Nerja Blondar. It came 12th in its semi-final, so almost qualified for Finland, a song in Swedish. So if you want a song in Swedish, you need to get the Finns in to do that for you. So yes, real big revolution in Melodifestivalen that a humour song won in Swedish, sung by Finnish people. Incredible. You would not have predicted this would happen before the season, and this is really disruptive thing because Sweden has been on this incredible streak recently. They are number 1 in the last 10 years. If you look at average results, they've been setting very polished, quite sterile, super well produced songs every year. It's quite formulaic. It's been working exceptionally, so I don't blame them for doing that. But yes, it was so unexpected for me and a lot of people that so many Swedish people will be able to look past Måns, who definitely fit into that cookie cutter recipe, which has been working incredibly well, and gone for something a little bit different. So I also think this shows off how open the Swedish public are. You know, this year sending Finns, last year sending Norwegian twins, also sending a lot of people of colour recently, Loreen, Tusse, John Ludwig, the Mamas. I think it shows that the Swedish public are super open. This could really revolutionize Melfest. It'd be so interesting to see what happens next year. Do we get a few more out there entries? Do people feel more that they can actually win the contest if they aren't a big established name with the biggest pop production song? So as we know, the winners were KAJ. Let's find out a little bit about them. They are Kevin Holmström, Axel Åhman, and Jakob Norgård. I've pronounced their names somewhat correctly. And they're from, my Swedish is really getting tested today, they're from the Rå in Östra Bothnia in Finland, which is a Swedish-speaking area of Western Finland. In case you don't know, there's some regions of Finland that speak Swedish, Åland Islands as well. I believe that Finland and Sweden used to be one kingdom for a long time before Russia invaded. History buffs, correct me if I'm wrong. Jakob and Kevin are 31 and Axel is 32, and they actually went to the same school together, and they formed KAJ in 2009. So 16 years ago when they were around 15 years old. So these are like high school friends who've been together for a really long time, and you can see that on the stage because their chemistry is perfect. They're supporting each other, they look so confident, having so much fun, and that's because they're best friends who have been hanging out for such a super long time. And if you compare that to something like Equinox from Bulgaria in 2018, where we had these 5 random artists who were put together, zero chemistry, did not work together, competing with each other to sing on stage, and it just did not work. and contrast that with this, where you've got three best buddies living their best life on stage, you can just absolutely feel that. Okay, so they speak Swedish, but they speak it with this the raw dialect. So it's a slightly different Swedish from that of Stockholm. Okay, I've already reacted to this song multiple times per season. So let's have a look at the highlights of my first ever listen of the song. KAJ, which I believe is the first letters of their name. The song is called Bara Bada Bastu. Just take a sauna. So I feel like there's going to be wordplay here. Oh, it's going to be a little bit of Moldova. It's folk with some electronic production. Oh, I like this. This is a little bit risky. It's got a little bit of that X Factor. Yes. Hello beat. I like this fusion of, it sounds unique for Sweden. It sounds super Swedish, but it also sounds original, which is not something you get in Melodifestivalen. Giving a tiny bit of Summer and Victor? Yes. Oh yes. I would like this to go for them. It would be something just different. I really like this electronic mix-up. It's a little bit of coolness to it. A bit of modernity as well. It's like modern beats folk. And it's in Swedish, which I also like. This is so boppy. It just puts a smile on your face, which is huge. And I don't even understand 99% of the lyrics. Are they gonna have a sauna on stage? This sounds like something fun is happening now. Something naughty. He changed yes queen. Yes kings. 3 kings. 3 Finnish Swedish kings. Could this heal Finnish Swedish relations? Nice little mix up at the end there, kind of unexpected. Like a nice little outro. Okay, if you want to see my first ever reaction to the performance, I've done it in this video. I'm going to do a new reaction, focusing a little bit more on the staging, the lighting, etc. I'll leave as much of the original audio and visuals in as I'm allowed. If I do need to make changes, I'll put it up onto my Patreon. Also, please help the channel reach 20,000 subscribers. We're so close. We're right at the precipice of that. Subscribe down below. It's free. Thank you. This is KAJ singing Bara Bada Bastu, the final performance. One and number secret bang. This is the upgraded sausage. That was one of the differences between the semi-final and the final. Look at the smile though. Immediately they're welcoming you in. Jacob's got great intensity. He feels like your buddy. Look how sharp all camera cuts are. They hit every freaking mark. There's always something happening. Introducing the sauna. Even Kevin doing that pose. And Axel giving the weird voice and the sauna coming up with the visual effects. So good. And look, they're already ready at their next pose. This is so well choreographed. It looks calm and funny. But there's so much work going on behind the scenes. Setting up the sauna, there's storyline going on. This is freaking clever staging.com. And a choreography as well. And yes, bitch. So good. It's not complicated choreo, but they hit it perfectly. And they've got the smile on the face the whole time. The song is a freaking bop, by the way. Let's talk about the song later. Lovely dancing again. It's just so much fun. Wonderful. And that flip up is such a magic moment to have halfway. People are already entertained, but that's like a bit of a wow moment. I love the water. It's so joyful. This is pure joy. They sing really well as well. I don't think people give enough credit for the vocals, but it sounds super clean. Sounds like the radio edit. And we get the leaves. Yes. This dance is so good. They're just all serving. Like, look at them. All of them are really in sync. This is so well rehearsed. It's super clean and polished, but it's got that humor, and so it still feels like a Swedish production, but it's just something different. It's so refreshing. Getting a little bit of this club remix. Crowded living. This is the type of song where you can show the audience. Usually I'm not mad on that, but it works for this. And they're just all great. They're all having fun on stage. They're living. They're really enjoying this. It's not wooden. Yes, lasers. Oh yes, kings. We're in the sauna club. Yes, please. 1 ticket. Jacob's so fun. He's got such a warm, inviting smile. Yeah, it's just so wonderful. For like such a beautiful climax as well. Fabulous key change. I love the up and down bit. It's so cute and charming. Feels really nostalgic. And then just one flight. And I love that on-screen effect. Fabulous. It's such a super detailed performance. Okay, let's talk about the song first, because this is actually a really good song. Some of we have these entries with humor, which rely really on the visual presentation, and listening to the song on its own isn't as good. But this is a wonderful song. Like, it's really fun, super catchy. Every time I watch it, I have it in my head for a couple of days afterwards. Really easy to digest, fun, enjoyable melody. The key change is so wonderful. You know, sometimes key changes feel like they're tacked on. We expect key changes in Melodifestivalen, but it works so well here. It just adds in that extra little bit of crescendo, makes it feel a little bit more Swedish Finnish as well, because they love a key change. And it's been doing incredibly well on streaming platforms. Like, this is currently #1 in the Viral 50 global. Actually, funnily enough, Bowler from Germany, from Aber and Tinner's in 3rd place, which is really awesome as well. And if you look at the all-time record of Sweden of the most streams per day, KAJ just got 2nd place ever. So they had 807,823 streams in Sweden. 1st place being Avicii SOS. In case you don't know, Avicii, an extremely famous Swedish musician who unfortunately passed away. And then you look at the other names in here. We've got ABBA, Wham! Last Christmas, Franz, If I Were Sorry, which was a huge winner in 2016, Cornelia Jacobs, Mariah Carey, and Kai are up there in 2nd place. This is like wow numbers. In case you're wondering, Loreen, I think her top streaming number with Tattoo was 550,000, so she would be just outside the top 10. So this has got a huge musicality appear. Now keep in mind, people are listening to this, they are not watching the visuals, and the visuals are just as super high quality as well. So this is a standalone song. This holds up on its own. Really fun. Joyful is the key word for me. Everything about this is pure joy. Forgetting your problems for 3 minutes, being totally and utterly absorbed into this word. It's very magical. As a song, this has Eurovision winning potential because it is going so super viral. Reminded me a lot of Dafti from 2020. Think About Things, which also had that really joyful, wonderful, charming, super broad appeal. Little bit of innocence in there, a little bit of self-deprecation. Very charming. The song is in Swedish. Let's go through and read the lyrics. Let's read the English translation, but I'll point out, I think there's a couple of Finnish bits. The clock strikes, it's finally time. Let all your worries disappear. The best cure for body and soul. 4 walls made of wooden paneling. It's an homage to saunas. We love it. Who doesn't love a sauna? It's universal. They're all over the world. Firewood heats as well as a tango with Arja Saijonman. She's a Finnish singer, political activist, and occasional actress from Mikkeli in Finland. I love a super obscure. It's probably not obscure if you're a Finnish person, please don't come for me. But for me as an Irish person, it's a very obscure reference. I love it. 1, 2, 3, sauna. We're going to sauna, steam it up, let go of all stress today. Sauna brothers, we're the ones who glow 100 degrees. Well then, simply sauna, throw it on so that the sweat whirls around. Sauna bathing, yeah. So I think there's some plays on words as well in Swedish, which I'm obviously not able to pick up on. But overall, like, I love the theme of this song. It's about something that's relaxing, convivial, people coming together just at the end of the day. It's just such a nice thing to focus on. I'd much rather have a song about saunas than Love from Above or Standing Strong, Powerful, Invincible, all that nonsense. It's something new and original that we've never heard sung about before. I absolutely love it. Pour more water and more steam now. Tick, tick, tock. How long can you manage? I can't manage very long in the sauna. I'm always on the bottom step because I'm Irish, so I'm not good with heat. I'm good with the cold though. I did that thing in Finland where you go into the lake and you go under. I was actually pretty good at that. 90 degrees, we're almost there. Damn, it's getting hot in here. Ayo, ayo, the sweat's dripping, yeah. And then there's one line, Aisa peta, which means do not cover. And apparently Swedish people have been telling me that this is something that they see on radiators. So for example, if you're sitting on the toilet, you'll see the radiator, it'll say, Aisa peta, do not cover the radiator. But I believe that paita is also a naughty word in Finnish. I think it means something like devil, but it's like a little bit of a naughty word. Maybe a little bit like vadfan. Vadfan in Swedish means like what the devil, what the hell. I think that's a fun play on words, and a lot of Swedish people were able to pick up on it. These lyrics are wonderful, totally fits in with the song. This is just pure happiness. Another thing I just absolutely love about this song is the coming together of Sweden and Finland. In 2023, there was some sibling rivalry. It was mostly convivial, but it did get a little bit heated. And there was a tiny bit of bad blood afterwards, let's be real. So for some Finnish artists to come and represent Sweden, and for Swedish people to choose them, this feels like such a coming together of these two countries, which are really super close. I absolutely love it. I think this is what Eurovision about, for me, completely gets rid of all the bad blood that may still exist after 2023. So it is so in the spirit of Eurovision. Really want. Definitely getting 24 points from Finland, I think, in the Eurovision final. Okay, let's talk about the staging. In my first reaction to the live performance, I talked about how extremely expensive this looks. and how that's really, really vital for the jury. If you've got a humor entry on stage and it looks a little bit cheap, or looks like maybe it's taking the piss out of the contest or something like that, I think the jury really, really rank you down. Whereas if you make everything look incredibly luxurious, super professional, I think the jury just start to really snap on, this is serious, these are serious artists with a serious song, there is a humor element, but really at the end of the day, this is a professional package being presented to us. This staging is so unbelievably slick. The amount of freaking camera cuts, and they hit them every single time. We'll see a close-up of someone and then we'll cut to someone else doing a fantastic pose. It just looks so organized, and I think that immediately just puts you into, okay, they are making a joke here, but that they're serious about their craft. This isn't a joke to them, this is their job since their 2009. Everything, the camera cuts are wonderful, all the references with the cooking of the sausage was more luxurious than it was in the semi-final. We got more disco lights at the end as well. The sound of flipping over looks so cool and expensive. It's such a moment. I was gooped the first time I saw it. I think it's really something incredible. There's so much stuff going on with this wonderful feeling of entering into the forest at the start, and this conviviality as they're shaking hands. Really welcoming. I feel like Jacob's smile welcomes you into the performances. We have to give so much credit to these three guys because all of them have like a character and they're all doing it perfectly. You know, Axel has his bassy sauna. You know, Jacob is kind of like the host, is your buddy who invited you there. Kevin's playing a character, someone a little bit more aloof in the sauna. This has just got such a universal appeal. And I do feel like some of that is Melodifestivalen. You have to appeal to all these age groups. So you do need to think when you're doing the staging, okay, are 80-year-olds going to like this? Are 6-year-olds going to like that? You have to think that way in Melodifestivalen because you need to be hitting with all of these age groups in the televote. And I feel like this has got a wonderfully broad appeal. It's not too naughty, but it's not too dull. They found a perfect balance of appealing to everyone. And that's what makes this a bit different from some of the other humor or naughty entries that we have this year, which I feel kind of focus in on one group more than the rest. This can appeal to absolutely everybody in the family. So staging wise, literally, I would change nothing. If they can upgrade maybe a couple of small things, I can't even think of what to upgrade. It's perfect. You should be bringing your perfect concept to national final. You shouldn't be giving like a half-assed nothing performance. Sorry, I always pick on DMGP, but they really do need a massive revamp. Sisal, amazing song, amazing performer. They've given her no staging, and now they've given themselves an absolute ton of work to try and save this because they've got nothing to work with as a base product. Whereas KAJ are coming with 99% complete. Dance MGP, you're 10% complete. You got 90% of your work to do in a couple of weeks. This is another reason why Sweden do so well in Eurovision, is they are presenting completed packages to you. You can decide on the completed package, which is ready to go to Eurovision. Do I want to send it or not? Instead of seeing something and then wondering, okay, fingers crossed that they upgrade it by 50% because nothing's happening on the stage. Sweden deserves so much credit for this. So yeah, I wouldn't change any of this staging. I think one of the strongest things about it is how quick all these camera cuts are. And I think they've done such a good job at appealing to the jury because the televote appeal is going to take care of itself. The jury is the thing they need to think of. If they can think of any like small little extra gems to make it even more appealing to the jury, go for it. I don't know if they put in like a jury note or something like that. It might feel a little bit artificial. Maybe they might look at some small things that translate some of the lyrics. But really, I think that the visuals do that perfectly. You know exactly what the song's about. You know the spirit and the meaning and the joy of it just from looking at what's happening. And them saying sauna, which is a pretty universal word. I don't know. I'm trying to think of things to change, but I think this is like 99% perfect. Okay, so is this going to qualify? Yes. This is qualifying. Probably going to win the semi-final. It's very possible. This is performing in the first half of the first semi-final. Super broad appeal, extremely memorable. There's no way that you're going to forget this, whether you love it or hate it, doesn't matter. Yeah, this can definitely win the semi-final. And if we look at Sweden's qualification record, there's only 1 year where they didn't qualify, and that was Anna Bergendahl in 2010. And in fairness to her, she came 11th, and she was 9th in the televote and 11th in the jury. So she did qualify with the televote, ended up just missing a spot. And in fairness to Anna Bergendahl, the poor girl who is the Swedish person who didn't qualify, Charlotte Perrelli wasn't top 10 either. She got through on this jury golden vote technicality. She actually came 12th in her semi-final. So it's a little bit unfair on Anna because actually Charlotte Perrelli did worse than Anna did. Sweden have that near 100% record. Again, it's because they have this vetting process in Melodifestivalen where Swedish people get to pick from finished packages, and only the best artists who perform live get through to the final most of the time as well. It's a vetting process where the ones that just aren't going to work lose out earlier. Love it or hate it, you cannot deny that Melfest is one of the best produced national finals. So yes, probably winning their semi-final. It's so Eurovision coded. It's so perfectly designed. It's definitely into the final. When it's in the final, what could it do? Okay, well, televote, this is definitely a potential televote winner. I think if you ask me at this exact point in time who's winning the televote, I would say Sweden. Super broad appeal. Every age group is going to be voting for this. I can see 80-year-olds voting this. I can see my age group voting for this. I can see 7-year-olds voting for this. It is just so universally fun. Even a kid who doesn't understand, they understand the joy in the faces. They understand the sauna and the steam rising up. And then the older generations are going to understand the references. It's just got something for everybody. And we saw that in the Melodifestivalen final where they got 90 points from the public. The split results haven't been released yet, but we can work out that 90 points is most likely 5 12s and 3 10s. That would be 60 points and 30 points, 90 points in total. So they only missed out on the maximum 96 points by 6. This basically won pretty much every single age group apart from 3, which we assume that Måns won. Maybe Dolly Style won one group as well, to the youngest age group possibly. Televote winner at this point in time. Staging's ready to go. I think it's up for the other televote contenders to really elevate and bring the same standard that Sweden are bringing. As for the jury, before Melodifestivalen, I would have been super concerned. But this final package, like I said, looks so slick and professional. I think that this will have jury appeal. And again, it's so well performed by these people who've been performing for 16 years. I think the professionalism shines through. So I think this can do well with the jury as well. Like, definitely top 10. Can be competing for top 5. This did so well in Melfest. And actually I need to give a shout out to the Irish jury, for which one of my Euro besties, Lou from Eurovision, was on the Irish jury, and they gave Bara Bada Bastu 12 points. And they gave 10 points to Hush Hush as well. So pure Irish jury taste. So yeah, this did much better than expected. Now, one thing to note about national final juries and Eurovision juries are they're a little bit different. National final juries tend to have a lot more Eurovision experts on it, or people who know the Eurovision scene very well. So I think many of the people on those juries will have been aware that KAJ was so popular, and probably were aware of the situation of Måns versus KAJ going on and wouldn't have wanted to rank it down. I wonder if the juries in Eurovision actually going to know. It depends how much buzz there is in the week before the contest. If KAJ are in the newspapers a lot, this is a big thing, they can potentially win. The jurors are going to become more aware of the song and that it is something serious from this serious band who've released 7 albums and 2 musicals. Like, this is a super experienced and legit band. So it depends on the narrative. If there's this big narrative, I think that Sweden are going to be top 4, 3, 2 in the jury. I think that was a lot what happened in 2023 with Garia. I think if there hadn't been so much buzz, people going in KAJ would have ranked him down lower. But being aware that it was a potential winner, not wanting to sabotage, I think even if they didn't like him, they just would have put him in the middle as opposed to right down the bottom. So I think that the amount of news coverage going on about KAJ at the time could affect how high up it can get in the jury. I don't think songs with humour should be voted down by the jury, which they tend to. I do agree with the jury system in general. We need it because we need 2 different types of points for the voting sequence to be more exciting. But I don't think that humour songs should be penalised as much as they are. Okay, so let's talk about the big thing. Can this win Eurovision? Yes, this can definitely win Eurovision. If you're winning the televote, you're already in the conversation to win. Basically, just need to be top 4 in the jury. Can this come top 4 in the jury? Absolutely. If it's going to be that slick and professional, I can't think of any ideas how to upgrade it, but they've already had so many wonderful ideas. Maybe they're going to make it even better, even more expensive, even more fun, with even more jury appeal. Definitely can win. And I'm putting this on my pile. In case you don't know, I have a pile of songs which I think have the ingredients, the X factor to win. It is currently Finland, Sweden, Australia, Netherlands, Austria. And I did have Czechia on it, but I'm taking it off because the views for the Czechia videos online have been way too low. So I just don't think the public interest is there. With that in mind, let's have a look at the Eurovision odds. And this is, not only is this still number 1. Now keep in mind, I think it was mostly number 1 because of Måns. People were expecting Måns to win. Keep in mind, he did a 60% winning chance in the Melodifestivalen odds or something like that. But since KAJ have taken over, this is actually doing better. It was at 20% in the odds. It's gone up to 24% now as a potential winner. And I absolutely agree. Can definitely be the winner of Eurovision 2025. And I think that it would be a really good winner as well, because we've had some more serious songs recently and we've had the funner songs not be able to win. So to have a fun song with humor come in and be able to win because it looks so professional, I think it just sends a really good message that all the different songs can win. You just got to bring your A game. It's not enough to rest on the jokes. You just got to be super slick as well and be kind of smart in how you have that broad appeal. I think if we go a long period without kind of one of the crazier fun entries winning, there starts to be more of a narrative that they can't win. For me, the last really crazy song that won was Finland in 2006. Can a song like that win now? I would argue probably no. I just don't think the juries would let something like that win. So we want to see if we can just like broaden scope of what is winnable at Eurovision. So this could be really wonderful. I'm not saying this is 100% to win at this point in time. I still think Finland's got a great chance. Could it be Finland versus Finnish people for Sweden in the top two, just like we had in 2023? I think France are hyping up their song pretty big this year. And then, like I said, all those other countries who are on the pile. I also wonder, are the EBU going to start telling the juries to be a little bit softer on humour songs? Like we've seen the last 2 years, we have the jury winner basically winning the contest before the televotes are even announced. The EBU doesn't want the public to feel disenfranchised or feel like voting is a waste of time. So they do want the televote winner to win, I think, most of the time. And one of the ways that they can do that is telling the jury, okay, please do consider humour as a valid form of music. I'm not saying that's definitely happening, but I wonder, is that something that could subtly message to broadcasters? Another interesting question is, will this do better than how Måns would have done? For me, an absolute and utterly yes. I don't think that Måns would have won Eurovision. I just think the song was lacking heart. Loreen came back with an incredible stage show, but I felt the heart in it. I believed her when she was on stage. I felt the angst in it. The staging was just absolutely and utterly sublime, even though it wasn't my favorite song. I just wasn't getting the same realness and authenticity from Måns. It just came across as kind of too strategic, a bit too competitive. He's openly said that he's a very competitive person. This just felt too competitive to me, too kind of manipulating the system, as opposed to sending, this is like something I really believe in. I don't think that Måns would have won. I think that KAJ can win. So I think that this is the right decision from Sweden, not just in a competitive sense, but in a, let's try something really fun and amazing and new. Okay, finally, let's have a look at the Eurovision scoreboard. Sweden are currently sitting in 4th place, but they did go to number 1. Shout out to you if you took a screenshot while it happened, but they jumped up to number 1 at the start. They're currently sitting in 4th place, just right behind Albania. But yet, really great to see Sweden up. This is very beloved in the community. So many people rooting for this, just wanting Sweden to send something different, send something in Swedish. I think this is garnered so much positivity and good faith from the community towards Sweden. And I think even if we get kind of more of these formulaic entries in the future and people start heaping on Sweden, people are going to come in and defend and say, hey, they sent KAJ. Why are you dumping on them? They did send something fun. This is very beloved in the online community. Okay, that's what I thought about KAJ singing Bara Bada Bastu for Sweden Eurovision 2025. What did you think? Leave me a comment in the comment section down below. Thank you to those who've been supporting me on PayPal and Buy Me a Coffee. If you think I need an espresso macchiato, I'll leave a QR code for you here and a link in the description. Please help the channel reach 20,000 subscribers. We're so close. I think we could reach it in the next week. And of course, thank you to all my patrons for patronizing me from all around the world. On my Patreon, you can get some original audio and visuals, get some early releases, you can be in the credits, you can support the channel. Go check it out if you're a fan. But of course, thank you so much just for being here, and I hope to see you in another Eurovision analysis video very soon. Goodbye.